Today's video will be a little bit different as I'm in Quoc, which is an island in Vietnam, and I just wanted to share some of the lessons I've learned whilst being here in regards to marketing, business, and life in general. And as you can see, it's a tropical island. It is fantastic. This is one of the top 50 voted beaches in the world. We have Marriott over there, beautiful houses, and as you can tell, there's been a lot of money that has been invested in the island. Even the sand was brought here. You have coconut trees, which are not really what they had here in the past. With woods like what you see over there. I don't know if I can't zoom in as I'm on the front camera of the iPhone. But the bottom line is that I think the Chinese and the Vietnamese government have invested billions and billions of dollars in this island to create something magical. And there's a couple of ghost towns, which are essentially fictional towns that they recreated and mimicked cities in Europe. They even have a canal where you can have a tour guide get you in a boat, show you around. You have beautiful roads, you have the entire island pretty much designed in a way that they can handle a lot of tourists. But what I see is that it is super empty. We're probably on one of the busiest beaches, and it's a beautiful sunny day on a Saturday, and pretty much every resort is empty. There's just a handful of people. There's a lot more staff than there's tourists. And you can see that the Chinese government has put a tremendous effort and amount of money that went into that place. And it haven't been justified. And there's a couple of reasons for that. First, it's COVID. They just did that massive development of building resorts, investing tons of money into building like an aqua park and theme park and designing amazing amenities that people can enjoy. But as COVID happened, they couldn't recoup the cost back, and I don't think things have picked up since then. The second reason is that they're in a very competitive region. Right now we have Thailand, which is very close. It's 1 hour flight. We have Philippines, and Vietnam is usually not known for a tourist destination. So if you try to compete with already established players, first, it's going to be very, very hard because other tourist destinations are something that is well known. But second, all these places are known for the great sandy beaches. And if you think of a beach, you think of Thailand or maybe Philippines, but you're not thinking of Vietnam. So it's very hard as a new player in town for you to come in. And this relates to business in the sense that if you're entering an already established marketplace, it's very hard, no matter how much money you dump into it. If there's a player that's associated already with being number one in the field you're in, it's going to be almost impossible for you to come in and take a percentage of that market. So it is better for you to design a new market so you can remove the competition in a way, or you become known for something that you're special about and people visit you as a destination because of it, rather than trying to compete with already established players. So how Quoc has done that? They literally copied all the European cities. Think of Venice, think of France. They even have these cafes that they did. They even have the streets, the roads, literally everything. They copy and pasted European city on an island, a tropical island that has beautiful weather, beautiful service, very affordable. It's pretty much incredible. But why is it empty? Well, they try to be number one in an area where somebody's already known for it. Second is that they didn't do enough marketing. Quoc is a very little known island, and just the fact that we haven't heard of it, and we've been living in Asia for a couple of years, and altogether I've been living probably here for 3 to 4 years, in between my 20s and 30s, and I didn't even know that this island existed. And it wasn't until the other day we got our visa rejected for Vietnam. Not rejected, actually, we had to apply for a visa before we entered the country. And we were flying the next day. We didn't check the regulations, and apparently since January 1st, 2024, they changed some rules, and we as European passport holders, we needed to apply for a visa prior entering Vietnam, which is something we didn't have to do before that. And having to do that made us change plans in the last minute. And Quoc happens to be a destination that doesn't require a visa for up to 30 days. And that's another government stimuli trying to bring more tourists here. So we decided, okay, let's hop on a plane. We'll go to Quoc. It looks pretty nice place to spend a couple of days whilst waiting on our Vietnamese visa, so we can then go to Ho Chi Minh and attend the meetings and appointments we had there. And that's how we found out about the island. And it was very convenient, cheap, affordable flight. You get on there right as we land. You have thousands of vehicles that are electric vehicles, brand new Chinese cars or Vietnamese, I'm not sure. It could be a local manufacturer. Very efficient system for taxis, for roads, for renting mopeds, scooters. But the island was really empty and kind of felt like a ghost town. And as we were cruising down the island, what you can see is another lesson that I can apply to everything in business and life in general, is that the Chinese developers and the government, they try to build something that they think people want. And if you pull all the comments of all the amazing resorts and even the theme park they built, the number one comment is like they oversplurge in an area that people didn't really feel the need to have that problem solved. Instead of trying to keep the island clean, trying to make it more efficient, market it better. And you have this amazing place that is under-marketed, I don't want to say like not solving a specific problem, because it's an island. Of course, it's solving a specific problem. You go for a holiday, for a vacation. But other than a nice beach and a decent place to sleep, you don't need much more than that. You don't need any theme parks. You don't need thousands. It's not thousands. It's like hundreds of millions invested into creating these luxurious buildings that are sitting empty with no people in there. You pretty much want clean, efficient, good service, good quality food. You want clean roads. You want the people in the island to have a good quality of life, so that reflects into the service, that reflects into the ambience as you're driving, cruising around. And instead, they're living in very poor conditions. And you literally walk out of a resort that looks like Beverly Hills, even better. And on the street, you have people that are pretty much sleeping on the ground. And it's dirty. And there's trash everywhere. And it's just such a big discrepancy that I think somebody who was delusional decided to invest all that money and pour it into projects without thinking for a second that being a tourist is a whole experience, and it needs to match pretty much everything, from how you land, what you experience, how you feel, how they greet you, how they treat you. And they just focus on the external, like what is seen. And we often do that in business, and I'm guilty of it. Like, we focus on the product so much, and adding features and things that we think people want, investing hundreds of thousands of dollars and effort and energy in our time. But we often forget to just ask the end user, which is in this case the tourist, what they actually want out of a place. And if you just for a second pull up all the comments on all the popular attractions here, you're gonna see a common theme. And there's no lack of money. Like, if you've ever been to that place, you're gonna see that there's been a huge dumpload of money. And definitely it's supported by the government, because you can see that they don't have the visa regulations. All the roads are beautifully fixed. They have some preferential flights and prices for you to come down. It's like very easy, very efficient. And yet the island is really dead. If you compare it to any island now in Thailand or Philippines, or we're just approaching the high season. It is now beginning of September. It's actually beginning of October almost. And it is sad to see, And it's been like a super expensive lesson, because you can start to see that some of the buildings are now decaying because they built it a couple of years back. Nobody's really utilized it. And there's many hidden stories behind it, by the way. It's not just what I'm saying here. But the point I'm trying to drive across is that you cannot build something that you think people will want and copy your competitors and just pour more money into what they're doing and try to be successful. Essentially, you gotta carve a niche of your own. And Quoc is an amazing island, and they could have focused on serving a specific niche and demographic and just be known for that, rather than trying to copy things from Europe, or even like the resort. If you're not going to be able to see because it's the front camera, that resort, they literally copied Turkey, and the style of the buildings, how they look, how they feel, everything is like literally you're in Turkey. There's a place down the road there, it's not the road but down the beach, which is called Istanbul, and they serve Turkish food, Turkish coffee. They try to create a place where they have everything, and I think it's very heavily influenced by China. It's a Chinese developer that rebuilt the whole city, and now it's sitting empty. So if you ever watch that video and you don't care about business at all and you just want to visit Quoc, I highly recommend it. You're gonna have mixed feelings, by the way. Food is amazing, people are friendly, staff is friendly, nature is beautiful, scenery is great. And yet you have the polar opposite, which is dirt poor, trash everywhere, still underdeveloped. And it makes you wonder, why? Why would the government spend so much money without thinking of the other things? Are they blind to it? Do they not care? But we often do it ourselves. We fall for the flashiness, for the gimmicks, for the tricks. And we forget that fundamentally there's the simple things that you need to solve as a business before you can design the flashy things. And Quoc being an island that I hear for the first time ever, if I have to compare it to Samui or Phuket or any other island in the Philippines or Thailand or the nearby countries, they don't have even like 10% of the money invested there as far as the government support and roads and infrastructure. And yet they're 50 times ahead in terms of the tourist experience and what you see as beaches and food and just the overall, I think, satisfaction of a tourist. And the other lesson, and that's part of the reason why I'm here, is that the market's constantly evolving. Things are changing and you gotta adapt fast. And for us, it's the visa rules first. So 6 months ago, they had different rules than they do now. And because we didn't stay on top of it, we didn't check, we didn't adapt to the market in a way, we ended up being here, which is fantastic. Like, I'm not complaining by any means. I'm loving it here, and I highly recommend that if you haven't been here yet, you should definitely visit. But the bottom line is that things are constantly evolving, and your business, marketing, things, the way you serve customers, everything is ever changing, and the consumer is demanding more. And the things you've done 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023, they're not going to be the same as the things you're going to be doing 2024, 2025, and the year beyond that, because the world is not static and things are changing. AI is here, the consumer has more options, and you as a business, you need to constantly evolve, adapt, and listen, because with so many options and capital not being a constraint anymore, because everybody has access to capital, banks are giving money, it is hard to put product out there, let's put it that way. You just have to become very good at listening to the problems of the market and finding a niche you can carve for yourself. So for me and for our business, we've seen a tremendous shift of consumer behavior, of how people consume the product, how long they stay with our products, what they say about our products, and we just needed to adapt. And the biggest thing that I see is that we're in a very, very established market. The market has been around for 40 plus years. and the novelty of it has worn down. And when people hear about it, they already say, oh, I know about that, or I have a friend who's done that, or pretty much their association with our product is not like, oh, it's something new, it's something exciting, it's something that I want to try. It is something that you have to be the best in order to stand out. And that's a very tough spot to be. Like, it's very hard, no matter how much money you dump, for you to become the #1 island in Asia to attract people and tourists. I mean, it requires years of marketing, dedication, catering to tourists, and of course matching those expectations, because I'm sure they've attracted some buzz and now they're falling short on some of their promises. So they have to evolve, adapt, and of course listen to what the market has to say. But if you're in business where there's a lot of competition, and this could be agencies, could be direct selling, could be any other industry that has been established for a while, you got to think of a new angle that you could be the only person that does that. And for us, that's been artificial intelligence. We're going to become the #1 provider for AI solutions for health and wellness businesses to solve many of the problems they've experienced throughout the years. And being a heavily customer focused business where customer communication is key, where efficiency, speed is key, adding AI on top is going to help us stand out and differentiate ourselves in a way. But if you're in a industry and you've done things as you've always done, don't expect things to improve for you. It's going to get only tougher and tougher. In the next 5 to 10 years, we're going to see a massive shift of wealth. I think it's going to be the same way it's been in the dot-com bubble. Now everything is hot. People are talking about AI and it's a bit overhyped. Just like with anything, the application of it will solve certain issues. It will change the way we do work 1000%. There's going to be many jobs that are going to be replaced. There's going to be people that are going to be fired, as bad as that sounds. And there's going to be new ways of earning money by leveraging AI. And there's going to be a lot of people that are going to lose a lot of money in the process. They're going to lose their businesses, their jobs, all of their money. And then there's going to be a lot more that are going to make a lot more out of it, as far as improving their business, finding new ways to attract and serve customers, making more money as a result out of it. And if you're watching this, you can be one of the first ones to apply this to your current business. And you have to be constantly thinking and evolving, because the market is never static. Even if they were happy last year with your service, just the awareness of the consumer nowadays is much higher because they have access to the internet. We Google things, we browse on YouTube, we watch videos, we become more aware, we demand more, we try new things. And you have to continuously reinvent yourself. And for me, obviously being on that island and realizing that sometimes we try to do things as we've always done makes me really think, is this where I want to be in the future? How I'm going to adapt, how I'm going to capitalize on the fact that we live in the best era right now, where we can be doing so many great things, and there's going to be a great wealth distribution that I want to be part of. So this was my message for today. We ended up in Quoc because we didn't apply for a visa. This is my beautiful girlfriend right over there. She's talking to a friend of hers, and I decided to shoot that quick video, a little bit of a different style, but wanted to give my spiel on marketing, business, and a couple of lessons I learned from an island that I didn't know existed just a week ago. And now I'm spending a couple of days here, enjoying the beautiful weather, enjoying this beautiful resort. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video, and always keep evolving.